In-depth, insightful, innovative. Cronkite News Watch starts right now.
The shade house is clad in this fiber cementitious material, helping shade it from the heat.
Helmets aren't the only things on fire here as the Sun Devils get ready for their biggest game of the season against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Joe Bisaccia spent the morning at the waste facility. Joe, we heard you had quite a morning.
That's absolutely right, Marcus. It was quite the morning. Students sifted through over 6,000 pounds of trash, and to their surprise, they found that most people are doing a fairly good job at recycling. Now, this is part of a new initiative between ASU, SRP, and the city of Phoenix to find out where SRP is succeeding and where they can improve. Now, the ultimate goal of the day is to show the people of Phoenix just how much they're wasting and not recycling. Turn to China in the future and hope Senator McCain will join him on his next trip. Live in Phoenix, Joe Bisaccia, Cronkite News. Now, here within the Arizona State Republican Party, the race for the primary is already on between Wendy Rogers and Andrew Walter. Now, I was told one of the biggest surprises is how much food is being wasted, and much of this food could easily be composted, which would save local landfills a lot of time and space. Live in Phoenix, Joe Bisaccia, Cronkite News. For the students of Team ASUNM, solar energy isn't just a passion. It's a competition.
Our house was inspired by nature, by the Sonoran Desert, and how the mesquite tree shades the young saguaro and allows it to grow and thrive by providing it shade and shelter from all the harsh elements.
Students from both ASU and the University of New Mexico work together to build the shade house. This house is completely solar powered and will compete against other houses from across the country in the U.S. Department of Energy's annual Solar Decathlon.
The response we've gotten from members of the public, from people at the companies who sponsor us, they're like, oh, that's a really cool project, solar energy, that's great. And I love to get that response from people.
The shade house is clad in this fiber cementitious material, helping shade it from the heat.
There are 20 teams in the competition from all over the globe, and students come from several different majors.
At ASU side, a lot of the students were architecture students, as well as construction students, from the design school and the Delhi Webb School of Construction. And then in UNM, a lot of the students were engineers.
For the students that worked on the Shade Project, this isn't just about winning a contest. It's about building more sustainable houses for the future.
You know, I think we'll look back in 20 years and we'll laugh about the fact that solar, wind, and biomass were called alternative.
In Phoenix, Joe Bisaccia, Cronkite News. Trash is an ongoing problem in cities across the country. In Phoenix, students partnered with SRP and the city to help better understand what could be done to improve recycling habits.
Now, the ultimate goal of the day is to show the people of Phoenix just how much they're wasting and not recycling.
We hope to kind of bring to light how much trash is actually recyclable and compostable and give people an idea of how much trash actually does accumulate throughout the day.
The city hopes that this study can be shared with people getting rid of trash in the rest of the valley.
What we learn from them, we'd like to share with the region, with not just the Phoenix area, but the Phoenix metro area.
SRP knows that it has a responsibility to the community to keep Phoenix sustainable in the future. This study today is an important step in the right direction for them.
It first of all provides SRP with the opportunity to learn more about our waste stream and ways that we can reduce waste.
For students like Melissa, getting up early and digging through trash is worth it if people will change their habits.
What you're throwing away and having people have an idea of the volume that this ends up just in the landfill.
Something these students hope they can begin to cut down.
That's why I'm announcing today that I'm
Ads like this aired less than 1 year ago. While the media buy isn't on yet, the 2014 midterm elections are looming. Republican candidates are already making their pitch to voters, but the Arizona Democratic Party remains optimistic that Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema will win re-election.
So I think it's going to be a really tough primary on their side, but frankly, they're going to be running essentially to figure out who loses to Kyrsten Sinema.
Republicans are trying to stay ahead of the curve and believe they hold an advantage in that they aren't simultaneously holding a seat and running a campaign.
Making sure that we put heat on Congresswoman Sinema, making sure that we've done research to know her votes.
Now, here within the Arizona State Republican Party, the race for the primary is already on between Wendy Rogers and Andrew Walter.
For former Sun Devil and NFL quarterback Andrew Walter, Running for office is all about giving back to the community.
And so I just want to serve my country and my community for a period and then come back to my community. This will always be home.
Congresswoman Sinema hopes her connections will propel her to a second term in Congress.
So over my years as a social worker and my time in the Arizona State Legislature, I placed a premium on forming relationships with people.
Walter believes reaching independent voters is the key to winning the primary and unseating Congresswoman Sinema.
Engagement, engaging people in the community who traditionally haven't thought of themselves as Republicans.
It might be early, but both Republicans and Democrats are already working hard to get to Capitol Hill. In Phoenix, Joe Bisaccia, Cronkite News. China is a massive global economy, and Phoenix is one of the top 10 fastest growing economies in the U.S. Mayor Stanton thinks these two economies can help each other.
Allowed us a unique opportunity to let people be more aware of what's going on here in Phoenix, a fast-growing city with a increasingly diverse economy.
These pictures from his China trip show the mayor with the president of the Greater Phoenix Economic Council, a group that has already had success connecting these diverse economies.
Dial is a legacy corporation in our community. It's built a brand new many millions of dollars of infrastructure along the Scottsdale-Phoenix border, and the conversation with the leadership occurred in Dalian, China.
This is just one example of how working with China benefits Phoenix.
We got to talk about our competitiveness here, our unique partnership and incentive opportunities to attract foreign companies.
But the mayor knows in order for any of these partnerships to occur, the U.S. Senate must first confirm the bilateral trade agreement with China. Business leaders back in Phoenix are looking for help from Senator McCain on that end.
Senator McCain would be a very big ally to the mayor and to the region in establishing good relations with China.
The hope is that one day, the streets of China will be filled with goods from Phoenix.